Okay, so welcome everyone. Today, me, Bante Warapanyo, and my dear brother, Brother Kindness, are going to be taking a viral challenge which has been going around for a while, which is the Paqui One Chip Challenge. And we're going to be taking that as an expression of our sincerity and our consideration to practice transforming suffering. So one way or another in your life, there's going to be a one-chip challenge coming up. There's going to be a storm. There's going to be some serious suffering that happens in your life. And depending on how you live right now, you're going to be prepared to know how to transform that suffering and to be with it skillfully or not. So as Buddhist monastics for the better part of 5 years, it's really our life responsibility and intention to transform suffering. And so we don't do this as a joke, but kind of out of the intentionality to reach people and connect with people in a way that they can understand about facing suffering, dealing with suffering in a way where it can be a framework and a ground for our happiness and our joy. So we'll be expressing that through our practice of eating a very spicy chip today. And before we do that, Brother Kindness, maybe you can share a few words about this practice that we'll be doing together.
Wow. Dear respected teacher, dear everyone watching, dear brothers out here in the sun. Yeah, I think Bante put it very nicely. I think for me this is a silly challenge, and it's something that hopefully at least brings some smiles, but at the very core, I'm excited to find a creative way for our practice to reach eyes that might not otherwise be able to see who we are, what we are, and the things we get ourselves into. And so this is just a small way that I think we try to continue the work of practicing and healing, but to also show that we're here, that we also occupy space, that monastics are, as a vocation, as a way of living and being. This is a path that is starting to really, I think with the times as they are, it's a path that's starting to open up for some folks, at least the practice end of things, and finding a different way to sit and transform our own stuff, our own suffering, if I want to call it that. And, well, here we are about to hurt ourselves in a viral challenge. It's the nature of the beast, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, thank you, brother. Disclaimer, don't try this at home. And for my brother here as well, and myself, be very careful about the hands. Once you touch the chip, then don't touch your eyes or any kind of areas like that. And we are trained professionals. If you haven't been a monastic for the better part of 5 years, don't consider this an invitation to take this challenge. And so with that, let's go ahead and dive in and begin.
Also, as a little heads up, I don't know how much of it's going to stay in for me, so I'm ready to go here and not get the fancy equipment, Yeah.
A lot of different things can happen, so that's why we're here to deal with that in a way of compassion and love. And we do have trained professionals over here who are also monastics, who are ready to step in if things get serious. Really trusted friends on the path, so we're ready to take this on together, right?
Shall we?
Okay, so here we go.
Then the full challenge is to gut it out for 10 minutes?
There might be a note in here once we open up the coffin or the sarcophagus. Yep, there's a note right here. So it says this is going to really be very horrible. And here's the chip. It says real peppers. So it says eat the entire chip. Wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything. And those are the rules. And it says to face the reaper.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes. Oh, it says you can wait a long
Even
time.
more. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
we're going to do our best. And the theme of this challenge is about to face the Reaper. And of course, in our daily life as monastics and on the Buddhist path, there's a really major teaching about impermanence. So we could die doing this, and we're all going to die. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, cheers.
I have to do this a bit, just in case.
It really feels like I'm about to get on a roller coaster that I'm not prepared for.
You have a timer? Not that it's
Well,
going to be
one
in
of
the
our
order of
assistants
minutes.
is timing. One of our assistants
Yeah.
is timing. Okay. So, smells of fear, smells of anxiety. Yeah. Okay.
Ready?
So, cheers.
Bodhisattva.
Namo Guan Shu Yin Pusa.
So one idea I had for the challenge, excuse me for talking with my mouth full.
Yeah, what really brought me to the path was a lot of suffering. And I had a situation where not only did I suffer a lot, but I didn't have any kind of capacity to deal with that suffering skillfully. I didn't know actionable ways to face my life or act in my life to bring about happiness, joy, peace, healing. And so that led me to seek out spirituality. That led me to seek out healing. And I tried different spiritual paths, but it wasn't until Buddhism that I found what I really needed, and that was groundedness. I needed roots. I grew up in a way, where, I lived in a lot of different places, and my parents weren't always so available, so there was a lot of suffering and a lot of instability, and not having those deep roots of knowing who I really was or how to be in relationship with the world. And so, I had to look for a path to do that, and I found that to be Buddhism. As my teacher says, this path of doing good deeds, practicing mindfulness and detachment, being willing to let go at any given moment. But how about...
Yeah, pass it over to me because I don't know how much I can share.
How about you? What inspired you?
So, to preface my sharing a little bit, I don't know about you, Bante, but I feel it in the throat, curiously. I thought it'd be in the tongue, but there's a cavern of fire in my throat right now. For me, I was very fortunate, and I think by just dumb serendipity, I was able to meander onto the path. I was a very curious student in high school. I was reading a lot of books about spirituality without really knowing what that word is or what that looks like in the world. I remember going to Goodwill one day, and then in this huge sea of books on Christianity, there was this random little paperback, Hermann Hesse Siddhartha. It's a book by a German author, kind of romanticized. It's a little bit, now that I read it, it's a little bit kind of, it missed the mark in some areas, but I got Buddhism on my radar. And it made me realize, this was a path for some folks back in the day. This path of contemplation and discovery, and at least working with our afflictions and real pain that comes up in certain times in our life. It got me on the Buddhist path, and then one thing led to another, I feel. I was able to find 2 real Dharma friends. They were my yoga teachers initially. And then later, I found Sangha through them. I found practices. I'm not trying to wipe my eyes as I feel the tears forming, so. Yeah, I was very lucky to find Sangha and find some practices that were very effective for me. In 2015, I was in the darkest point I'd been in my life, and without the practice, I wouldn't have had the understanding in myself to know what to do at one of the, probably the scariest points in my life where I could have done something irreversible. And so I knew what to do. As much as it hurt and as much as it wasn't my comfort zone, I had to reach out and ask for help. And I did exactly that because I knew it wasn't kind of my life was on the line, to put it really simply. So this all probably doesn't sound as poetic or as nice as I would say without a chip, destroying me from within. But yeah, after that, the little soundbite I like to share is that the practice kind of gave me my life. And very least I could do is give my life to the practice. And in this moment, it takes a form as a monastic. And this is really, as I've found, it's been able to afford me so many opportunities to practice and transform in an environment that isn't exactly what I think I would want. And I like to have my own space and do my own thing, but that's not necessarily what's going to lead me to lasting healing, lasting transformation, and lasting peace. And so I continue to be here happily, and I still see myself in robes for quite a while to come. So yeah, this is just, in a way, I have this going on right now, but this is a happy moment, sharing this with my brother. And the path takes on many forms sometimes, and to really be honest and upfront and be able to, meet it where it's at. I think that's a really strong quality in a practitioner, and today it takes this form. So thank you for hearing me out, and I feel like this is getting more tenable by the second. It's not so bad anymore.
So we'll go ahead and offer a sound of the bell, and what bell do you have? You bring a bell, brother?
I did, but my fingers are probably going to burn the bag. So I can give it to Brother Concentration off scenes here, behind one of the cameras. If you don't mind, here's the pure fingers touching it. Yeah. Don't try this.
So we'll invite the sound of the bell, and as we hear this bell, we're invited to come back to our breath and our body, and just kind of being aware of whatever is unfolding, whatever is happening right now. Following the breath as it enters and flows out of the body, and just being aware of what's happening. So let's listen to the sound of the bell together.
What I thought were tears was actually mucus. So the consistency freaked me out a bit. For me, the heat is more not an issue anymore. It's the body reacting to what just went inside of it. So I find that kind of curious. I thought I wouldn't last a minute. Here we are.
So we can go ahead and offer a song.
Okay.
You have a song in mind?
Happiness.
Happiness is here and now, right?
Not sure if I'll get those high notes, but we can try. Yeah. So we have this song in Plum Village, and happiness, no matter what's going on, we can touch it here and now in the surprise wonders of life. So.
We cultivate it. You practice happiness. You don't just wait for happiness to arise, but you step into the practice of happiness, sowing the seeds of happiness in your own life, here and now, regardless of the conditions.
I'll sing happiness and have a resonance of our stupa here supporting us.
Yeah.
Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry.
need to hurry.
Brotherhood. Wow. I feel like after 10 minutes, I think we've cleared some arbitrary benchmark.
Yeah, everything's okay, and that's 10 minutes right there.
Already, huh?
That's the 10 minutes.
I don't know, you guys can sit out there in the sun 20 minutes?
There you go. You can hold it
Look. Oh, it has a thing on the back.
Yeah.
We crushed it.
I crushed the challenge.
My goodness. No, we did.
But the truth is that the one chip challenge doesn't have anything for the monastics following in the footsteps of the Buddha. It's simply a matter of transforming what arises, and that's the Buddhist path. So as monastics, we understand, or I understand, that a lot of people are going through sufferings, and maybe you hear a song like "Happiness is Here and Now," and you think, well, la-di-doo-dah, but I got to go to school, I got to do my homework, and I've got this and I've got that. But even if you've got a spicy hot chip that's going through your system, you can plant the seeds of happiness. You can take the reins. You can take the responsibility of being aware of what's happening right now, and then planting those seeds for happiness and peace and joy and freedom and gentleness, in the midst of whatever's going on. And it's a very realistic practice that you can do. It's not just theory or, hippy-dippy thinking, but it's actionable, it's practical.
Oh, my little glasses are fogging up, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel the heat right now? I feel it under my nose.
Nothing.
Dissipated.
I feel peace and I feel calm. I don't feel heat.
I bow to you.
I bow to you, a Buddha to be.
My goodness. Well.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. We'll just invite the sound of the bell, sit for a few moments, and then we can bow out together. Okay, thank you all for being here.
Good luck and take care.
We have 400 people watching.
I think we start wrapping up. Huh?
Yeah, we're all finished. We're all done. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Be happy, be peaceful. Bye-bye.
Yeah.